Hi my friends, how are you? This is Laura and the Expression Dance Academy, and today, my belly dance lovers, we will do a kind of challenge, a kind of game. I will start with all the alphabet from letter A to letter Z, and we will guess together, we will find together one belly dance style for each single letter. So let's start. Letter A. I found a wallim. What is a wallim? I don't know if you have maybe other ideas. Write it in the comments in case. A wallim is an old, almost ancient belly dance style of Egypt, of these educated women specialized in entertainment inside the palaces, so of rich families. Actually, nobody outside the family could really see them. There were singers, dancers, poetry, and any kind of artists. They were women, and this was their really special job. So let's go to the letter B, and this is easy. What you thought about it? I thought about Baladi. Baladi is the most famous belly dance style. And from Baladi comes all the Rakshaki, or all what we dance now. Baladi is the style of the common people. It's quite a recent style, as it started in the 20th century, in the starting of 1900 in Cairo, coming from the folk and going into the new sounds, a new way of listening and playing the music. So it's an evolution style. And let's continue with letter C. And there was many options. Actually, there were many options, but I choose cabaret style, also born in the beginning of 1900 in Cairo. But in this case, it was not the common people who was dancing this style, but was the artist performers. It was when there was starting some new nightclubs, really luxury, and in these nightclubs you can drink, you can see a show. So the dancers in this case were very well dressed, were really with amazing hair, makeup, clothes, orchestra. So they was performing for a show, and not anymore like in the Baladi at home with their family. So it was really the beginning of the performing art of belly dance. So let's continue with letter D, and in this case I think is the most easy style came in my mind is Dabka. Dabka comes from all the Levantine countries. It means what we call it Shams. Shams country, so Shams means sun. So all the countries that, for example, Palestine, Lebanon, Jordan, and also Syria, and finish. That's it. So all this country has in common this kind of folkloric dance. Very, very famous because all the men dance it in a wedding party, in any situations of parties, but also the women are involved. They dance all together by keeping their hands, and as the words meaning is by doing beats, doing sound with the feet. So it's a very powerful and aerobic dance. Let's continue with letter E, and in this case came in my mind Iskandarani dance. What means Iskandarani? Coming from Iskandaria, that is finally Alexandria of Egypt. And this city, not town, it's almost a city, is very famous because of the port, and in the ancient time, all the dancers in the port that were most male, performing many type of Iskandarani dances to attract the tourists and the people arriving with the boats to sell after their products. So there are many Iskandarani dances, but became famous the one of female style with Melaya Laf, with this big veil, heavy, to cover the body, to cover and uncover and to play with, performed by all the dancers. It actually is an invented style, is a fantasy, is not really in the original of the history of Alexandria, but it represents a character of women of this city. They are very joyful, they really enjoy flirting with men in the market and so on. So let's continue with letter F, and in this case, easy, I think. What you are thinking of? Me, I'm thinking of Fallahi style, also very, very famous and important. Fallahi style, especially Fallahi of Egypt, where Fallahi, it means of the farmers, Fallah, the farmers, as they keep many dancing in the tradition of the folk dance, danced by men and women together, especially to celebrate the land, the fruits, the vegetables, the water, very important, the Nile, all the life of the farmers. Of course, it's a little bit old-fashioned style, but most of the moves of belly dance comes from these styles too, so it's very important to know about it. Letter G, and in this case, the style I choose is Gawezi. And Gawezi, also from Egypt, very, very important belly dance style, because the Gawezi or gypsies, it's a group of gypsies should be, I'm saying with the Egyptian dialect, they pronounce the G, they say G. So the Gawezi was families, groups of families, who move from town to town, from place to place, and performs in open spaces, like in also in wedding parties, but for very, how to say, popular people, very, even a little bit low class people, for really for the village, to make enjoy the population. They were male and female enjoying together the dance. And in the second moment, these words started to be not really have a good reputation. Till now, here in Egypt, the word Gawezi or Gazeya is not really a good word. Sometimes they use it like to offend another woman, but what they did, this Gawezi, during the history, was very important for the dance, because they kept the dance alive until now, through the different period and different law against the dance. H, and in this case, the dance and the style I choose is Haggala, Haggala, with H, also called by Arabic Hajjala. And also this is a folkloric dance. Actually, it's a Bedouins dance of a group of a tribe, let's say, of a special area of Egypt, almost close to the Libya. So in this folkloric dance, you can see male and female dancing together, enjoying together, dancing to represent the flirting, the engagement before the marriage. So it's about men and women. It's very interesting also how the clothes they use, the type of music, the type of rhythm. I like Haggala very much. Let's continue with letter I, and this was difficult. What should I choose? What should I choose? Finally, I choose Iraqi dance, because I couldn't find nothing else with the same letter. But if you have any other idea, please write it, because I'm curious. Maybe I will learn something more from you. Iraqi dance is a style, Bedouins also, from the country Iraq. How to say it by English? I say it by Arabic, that is Arab. Anyway, it's a special folkloric dance, not really folkloric, is a dance performed by a group of nomad Bedouins of a special area of Iraq called Kawali or Kauleya. And these dancers sometimes, there are many stories about this dance, because it's not really, also doesn't have really a great reputation, because most of the time is performed in special clubs and places to attract men. So sometimes are really a bit let's say it, prostitutes, the one who dances. But finally, because it has something interesting in the music and also in the moves, because it involves very strong and powerful moves with the back and with the hair, so can be also performed in a really artistic way, in a really interesting way. So for me, it's a really interesting dance, out of where it comes from or why they use it. And now it becomes even more fashion, so all the women wants to learn it, to perform it at home, maybe to enjoy in the family or with friends. Let's continue with J, letter J, and in this case I was very in difficulties, like which belly dance style can start with with this letter. Actually, I didn't found, but I found a music style, Al-Jil, Egyptian music style, that can be connected to that dance style, because I remember that when I started to dance, I exactly started with this kind of music. So for me, it's a belly dance style. Sorry, I didn't find nothing else. Al-Jil is a special style of music of Egypt. It started in the late 70s, but more in the 80s and even in the 90s, with some many famous singers. And it was the like to say what it came aside of the shabby style. Shabby was very low people, low level people, low classes, and Jil was medium up classes music, so was very much mixed with electronic pop, especially the electronic music it was, and also reggae, yes. So it was very interesting, and it created really a style of music that allowed us to dance so much. I learned belly dance with this type of music because it was perfect, with the perfect accent, the perfect melody, so I have a special connection with this type. K should be, yes, and in this case was easy. I found Khaligi, Khaligi, because actually this comparison by English alphabet and the Arabic words sometimes doesn't fit, because you know that Arabic letters are written different, are pronounced different, so sometimes really they don't fit much. But the sounds, normally when we write Khaligi, we write it with K, so it's okay for me. I choose this style. Khaligi style comes from Khalig, that is all the Gulf, the Arabic Gulf, and all these countries in this area, for example, Oman, Qatar, even Yemen, I don't know, Abu Dhabi, and all the Emirates, all these countries, and Kuwait also, are all Khaligi country, and all this area they perform a belly dance style. It's not really belly dance, it's their folkloric style called Khaligi. Very interesting dance, and very, how to say, delicate and female, because all the women dances with their hair, with the soft moves of the hands and of the body. It's a very interesting and feminist social dance. L, and in this case I choose Lebanese style. Also in this case I didn't have many choice, honestly. If you have more ideas, please write it. Lebanese style compared to the Egyptian style, or compared to the Turkish style, has its own speciality. Let's say it's more close to the Turkish, and it means it has more fast moves. Finally, it has the same moves of belly dance, of Egyptian belly dance, but what it changes is the way they use the music, in a faster way, in a more dynamic, more modern, more aerobic, less traditional. For example, Egyptian dance is slower, is more powerful for something, but Lebanese style has its own topics, interesting too, if you like. And sometimes they use, I think most of the time they have a special costume. They use always high heels. They have sagat. They have their own specialities, and very much acrobatic moves also. M, and in this case, also here I was in difficulties which style, which style, which style, do you have some ideas, do you have any ideas? I don't have, so finally I choose Mahragan style. That also in this case, Egyptian Mahragan, it's a style of music, it's not really a style of dance. The dance came after enjoying dancing on this kind of music. What means Mahragan? It means festival. So it's a kind of mix of everything. It's a very new style, came up after the Arab Spring of the last years, so it doesn't have more than 10 years, even less. And in this style of music, the music is totally has its own way to use the drums, to use the voice, to use the auto-tunes also, even if it comes from Shabi. And so the dance reflects much this culture, this let's say hip-hop culture, but of Egypt. So it's not really the hip-hop culture, it's the Shabi of the new generations who lives the street in a certain way. So they dance very often with knife and they fight and they have their own topics, their own words, their own languages. Very interesting style. I suggest you to check it out. Let's continue with the letter N, and in this case I choose Nubi style. Nubi style, or Nubian as they call it. Nubi is by Egyptian. It's a folkloric dance of the Nubian people, so the people of the really upper Egypt, almost close to the border of Sudan. And this people is very different from the average Egyptian, as they are more African, taller, really black, really, and very cute face, and so nice in the way, so polite. They have a different really personality from the rest of the Egyptian, and they have their own language. They are Muslim, but they have their own language, their own costumes, their own traditions, their own language. So very often it's not possible, even if you talk Arabic, to understand their songs. And they have their own dance with their own costumes. They dance together with their women, for example, for wedding party or any kind of family celebration. Letter O, and in this case the dance is Oriental, what we call it Oriental, that finally is the translation of Sharqi. Sharqi means of the east, so Oriental. And the Oriental style is totally opposite of the Baladi and of Shabi. It means that style elegant, how to say, full of glitter, full of class, full of luxury in the costumes. Of course the costume has to be a bit naked with the belly out and you have to show your body while you're dancing, because you have to perform exactly in the rhythm and in the music with all the isolation of your body. Finally is what we do when we belly dance. We like to dance Oriental. P, and in this case I found pharaohs, pharaonic style. Why we have to choose the pharaonic at least once? Because all starts from there. All this culture of this dance, of this tradition, comes really from the pharaonic culture of 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago, correct? And of course nobody knows how they was dancing, so the pharaonic style of now that we perform now is just an imagination, a theatrical imagination. It's a fantasy based on the hieroglyphics, on the drawings we saw in the pharaonic temple, in the pyramids and so on, the way they use the costumes, the color they choose, the way they use the hair, and the gestuality, exactly, choosing from the hieroglyphics. But we don't know exactly what they was doing, but for sure some rituals, something for the temples and for the gods at the time, and we like that we absorbed so much from this style. Letter Q, and in this case also I couldn't find the style, so if you want to suggest me something, write it please. I found Kainat that is not a belly dance style. Actually, it's just a group of women of the past, of 1800 or even before, 700, 600, before, in Egypt especially, but not only in Egypt. These women was also educated women like the Awellim, and they were artists. Most they was singing, and her job was to say stories, poetry, in artistic way, or using their voice. But also this finally influenced all the belly dance after, because they was working with the Awallim, singing and dancing together. So at least we have a style for this Q letter. And then let's continue with R, and in this case we have two choices. One is Raqs al-Shar'i. Raqs al-Shar'i, Raqs means dance, exactly. So Raqs al-Shar'i, belly dance or oriental dance, better say, or Raqs al-Baladi, that means Baladi dance, or Raqs alone. It means dance, exactly, nothing more. But I have another style that is more proper for this letter, and I choose rumba. Rumba actually is a type of music of Latin America, but became very popular in Egypt in the time of the cinema, so in 1900, when the cabaret style started, because they inspired themselves much with the Hollywood style, and in Hollywood rumba was used with other Latin rhythms. So also rumba came in the Egyptian style, entered the show in the performing, and especially in the show of this cabaret style, it was used that after the introduction, maybe the entrance of the star, immediately after she will perform a part of rumba rhythm, because it's very romantic, female, sensual, slow, before other rhythms comes. So it was a kind of code that immediately after the entrance, maybe fast and full of energy, immediately after the music has to slow down and to enter the rumba. S, and S of course will come in my mind immediately, one of the most favorite style, at least for me, that is Saidi. Saidi is the most important folk style for Egyptian belly dance, because also give the inspiration to all what comes after Baladi, Shabi, Oriental, any other style has taken from Saidi. Saidi is the folkloric dance of Upper Egypt. It means of the south of Egypt, all the area of Luxor and around, the most pharaonic area, and it's a very strong and powerful dance. Performed in the beginning by the males, but after also by women's dancers in different styles, in groups, alone, with stick, without sticks. There are many variations. Letter T, and in this case I was having two choices, which one I choose. I can choose tabla solo, that is a style, yes, we can say it's a style. Tabla solo, or we say maybe drum solo. It means that the belly dancer, maybe at the end of the show, she enjoy with her drummer, with the darbuka, improvising on just only in the rhythm, without melodies, without song. And normally this is just a kind of game she play with the drummer and with the audience to enjoy a little bit the rhythm. Or I wanted almost to choose Tannoura, that is a folkloric style of Egypt. Tannoura means skirt, and it's a big skirt, very colorful, that they use in folkloric dance in Egypt, but it has a really important and heavy and also religious meaning, because it's a kind of, an image of the life since the beginning until the end, and the performer dances with this big skirt, and actually he has many, and he continues to turn, and while he's turning this skirt, he put it up, he put it down, he make it fly all over the audience and the stage. So it's very amazing dance. You should watch it sooner or later. Let's continue with letter U, and in this case also which style to choose? Not easy. I choose Aulad Nail. Actually, I did some research to found a style with this letter. Aulad Nail is a nomad tribe of a special area of Algeria. They live between the mountains and the desert because they move also, and it's very interesting because they are a group of women who goes far from their families. They perform, they make money, and after they come back and they can marry. So they choose, even they can buy with the money they did their husband. It's very interesting. It's a kind of image of freedom of women that is not really that common. So this tribe is called like this, and they have their special dance. Letter V, and in this case I found the veil dance. Everybody loves it. Veil dance, it means when you enrich your dance, your belly dance with the prop veil. Can be silk, can be chiffon, can be whatever you want, something light to fly. And you can use it just for an entrance or to enrich the entrance, or you can use it all over your dance, giving him the prop space to make it really the protagonist of your dance. And then we have letter W. I'm sorry, I couldn't find anything with this letter because actually it doesn't exist in Arabic word, this W letter, but I please ask you, if you have a suggestion, please tell me, because at least we have another, maybe there is some styles I didn't consider or I don't know at all. And the same for the letter X. I couldn't find a style. I'm very sorry. Please help me. Maybe you have some ideas. And then we have letter Y, and we have a dance. Actually, we can make it in this letter. That is Yola. Yola. Maybe the pronounce is not really correct because there are many ways to write it, by Arabic even. And this dance is of the especially folkloric dance of Emirates. In this case are the men who dance, and they dance with weapons. Yes, because it's a dance of victory. Of course, it was very ancient dance of a period of tribes where the tribes were fighting, continues to fight each other. So the one who win after they enjoy with the party. Now this dance is used in celebrations, especially in wedding party. The men are the one who dance, and they dance with real weapons, guns, rifles, sometimes even swords, but most are really weapons. It's a little bit scary, but really spectacular because they use it like joculery, so they have really art in using it. And then we close this all this alphabet with, of course, with the last letter, that is Z, and Z reminds me immediately to Zar dance. Zar dance comes from Egypt and is a very, I don't know if to call it, it became a dance style, but actually it was a rituals, spiritual rituals. Now it's not more allowed it from the law here in Egypt, unless it's about a performer, is about a show, is okay, but the real meaning of this ritual was to send away the jinnis. It means the bad demons, or the bad spirits from a house, from a person, from a situation. So it was a group of people, especially women, who was performing with some music, especially drums, and in an hypnotic and turning dance of the group to make, and very long also, to make these spirits finally go away and leave the house or leave the woman typically or to leave the family. It's very interesting if you never saw it. Once I saw it live, so it was amazing, and people used to go like kind of trance, because also it's the hypnotic rhythms and the hypnotic music who make this. And here we are, the alphabet is finished, the belly dance style also, but actually we have many more styles that I couldn't repeat and put in this alphabet. We will see it in other occasion. Hope you enjoy. Please, if you have any other suggestion, give me, maybe I can do other videos about it. And thank you for watching. See you next time.